Alright, YouTube, BigH Trucking. I'm gonna do some fueling at the local TA. Okay, so if your trainer hasn't tell you to get one of these cards, get one of these cards. With TA, you have to fill out a form on their kiosk inside of each store, then they mail it to you. With Pilot Loves, Road Ranger. Am I missing something? Pilot, Flying J is the same thing. You just go right in the store, ask them for a card, and they'll give you a card. So hold on, we're gonna go out and bust a move. All right, YouTube, back. So what I do is I carry this with me, your fuel card. Okay, it works as a credit card as well. The first thing I do is pop this. Do the turn and off. Now I'm gonna put some gel in there. So let me open the door. Anti-gel, because it's still cold out. Anything below 32 degrees, you want to protect yourself because you don't want to gel up. Even though it's April, gel up. Now, I'm going to use this diesel. And I also use this. I'll show you. Let me put it down. So this is what I use. Injector cleaner. Ah, that's just terrible. I hate the view going on. Right? Hold on, let me throw that in. All right, YouTube, we're back. So it says insert card. So what you want to do is take your card, stick it in the slot, and move it out. And it's going to ask you to swipe your Ultra One card. Same process. Put it in, take it out. That's asking me, what do I want? Tractor and reefer or both? So if you're getting both, you just hit both. In this case, I still got 3/4 of a tank of reefer fuel. I'm not getting it. So I'm just hitting tractor. It's asking me if I want depth. I'm not going to get depth, so I'm going to skip that. So I'm going to go to Pittston. I got a problem with this trailer. It's asking you for the vehicle number. Okay, so hit enter. Asking me if I want a cash advance. The answer is no. Now it's asking me if I want additional products. So if I was getting oil, windshield wiper fluid, etc., I would hit yes. But in this case, no. It's asking me for a trailer number. So this is 172128. All right, enter. It's asking me for my trip number. Hold on, I gotta get my trip number. The trip number is in. Again, simple, hit enter. That's gonna go through its prompts. It's as simple as that. Authorizing diesel. Please remove nozzle. All right, YouTube, we'll be back at you. Why did I go to Prime? Why not another mega carrier? Why not local? The answer to the question, after watching numerous videos, and I mean numerous, I decided to contact 5 companies here's this website that you fill out. Instead of sending 5 different applications into 5 different companies, 10 different companies, whatever the number may be. You fill out all your information and you check off the companies that you want to be contacted by. So, including Prime, there was a handful of other companies that I was curious in. Along the way, I was watching videos of Crazy Bags, Chad Rich, Junior Honduras, and several others, but Crazy Bags and Chad Rich were definitely the ones flooding the market at that time with Prime information. And naturally, that spiked my curiosity. One of the videos, Chad Rich had mentioned, if you have any additional questions, here's my email address. Give me contact me. Send me an email. I did. And he's, so I asked a series of questions, and he's like, listen, here's my number. Give me a call. It's a lot easier to talk about it than it is to email back and forth. We talked for about an hour. It was a nice long conversation. And he had mentioned that he was going to be in Pittston in like a week or so. And he was out doing his PSD training with a student. And his home terminal was Pittston. So I asked him, I said, listen, I don't want to sound like I'm stalking you or a freak. How many people ask somebody to come down and meet you, a total stranger from the internet? If somebody asked me that, I'd definitely raise some questions. But the reality was, when we spoke, it was really, good questions. The questions were pertaining to a new career move in trucking. And he saw that, and he realized, I wasn't joking around. I wasn't being malicious or anything along those lines. So we agreed. He's like, come down on a Tuesday morning. Be here, between this and this time, because I'm going to be working with my trainee, my student. So naturally, I drove there, met with him, talked for about 45 minutes. He sat in his truck. That was my first time I sat in a sleeper. A little small. He had a Freightliner. A little small. He's like, and he just gave me the reality of trucking, what it would be like. And he said, to be honest with you, training is the most difficult part of the experience. Just look at you living in. Basically the size of my closet. With another person who's a complete stranger. And you know what? I wanted it bad. I wanted it because I wanted to do trucking. I wanted to be a trucker. I was so sick of the corporate lifestyle. Listen, to be honest with you, I never felt comfortable in a suit and tie. Don't get me wrong, I like to get dressed up, but I was always more comfortable in a pair of jeans, sneakers. Anyway, after we talked, it's like, listen, if you're going to use me as a reference, here's my code. Appreciate it. And at that time, I was still unsure. I was still waiting to hear back from other companies. And 2 other companies called back the next day. And all they wanted me to do was fill out an application. Fill out the application. We'll talk. I'm like, no. Because what had happened along the way was, after I submitted that online, I'm thinking of the right word. It was just an additional inquiry for trucking companies to reach out with you. A girl named Heather, a woman named Heather, contacted me. It was soon after I submitted that inquiry. And there was no pressure whatsoever. There was no pressure. I had a few questions, and I recommend highly, guys and gals, when you're looking to do something new, you want to talk to a company, have a list of questions. And if you don't like the way they answer them, the company's probably not going to be a fit. Don't force something that doesn't fit, right? I'm not going to wear a pair of size 9 sneaker because I'm a size 12 and a half. It ain't going to fit. And I didn't like the responses of the other recruiters. Again, the pressure to fill out their direct application was more important than it was answering my questions. Where Heather from Prime, you can tell she was relaxed. She had a calm voice. Not one time did she ask to fill out an application at this point in the conversation. So I asked a series of questions, and I said, by the way, Heather, would it be all right if I came down to the terminal to look around and speak with you? I'm old school. I like to do things the old way. Meet somebody face to face. Because I believe you get a better view of who the person is, and you put the face to the voice. And without any questions whatsoever, she said, absolutely, come on down. What is good for you? And that spoke a lot about her professionalism and the company she worked for. Not around her schedule, but around my schedule. We go down, sit. I bring 25 questions to ask. Everything from this Prime. Now keep in mind, I had no idea about lease. Wasn't even thinking about lease. I was just thinking about working for Prime or a trucking company. So a few of my questions were, does Prime pay mile to mile or zip code to zip code? And what I mean by zip code to zip code, like I live in Nassau County. My town has a zip code. Within that zip code, it's like 35 square miles. Maybe not that big, but you get my point. So if a company pays you zip code to zip code, it's when, as soon as you enter that zip code, they stop paying you. And the shipper receiver could be 10, 15, 5, whatever. It could be miles into the zip code. So you're running those miles for free. She said, nope, we do miles. Okay, great. I was really stuck on driving in manual transmission. All my cars, since I've been licensed, have been manuals. When she said no, she said 95% of our fleet's in automated trucks, which are automatics, as we know. I was kind of discouraged. It almost was the reason why I didn't one negative. I asked about the health benefits, the dental benefits, the investment plans, home time, how much time do you need to put on the road before you're eligible for home time, how long is home time, what type of trucks, who pays for the breakdowns if they occur, if I break down in the middle of nowhere, do I get a hotel, how does it, all those questions. Those are the questions I asked. She did say, wow, you really did your homework. Like, yep, this is the way I am. I prepare myself. I left there. Oh, there was one other thing that I forgot to mention. She couldn't answer two of my questions. She's like, hold on a second. So she takes her cell phone out. She calls somebody and said, and I forget the questions, but I remember the action. And that for me was the winning ticket. Because she did not have to spin or BS me. She got the answer from somebody else, again, without spinning me, telling me something I wanted to hear. And that was it. So I go, what's the process? And at that time, my girlfriend was going under the knife for some surgery. And this was, I met her before Thanksgiving. I didn't end up coming to Christmas. I was home, making sure my girl was right, making sure that everything, I was situated in my life before I took the plunge. Because I knew that once you fill out the application, you only had 30 days. After that, they rip it up and you have to start all over. So, after sitting down with my girlfriend, and that's something that you guys should do, make sure that your significant other, or your wife, whomever, that you have this conversation with them. So when I first spoke about going over the road, she only knew me as a suit and tie guy. She was like, well, what spawned that on? What are you having, a midlife crisis? It's like, you know what, babe, I've always loved to drive. You know I love to drive. You never drive when we're together. You know, on a whim, I could drive 400 miles. I love to drive. I said, and I also want to see the country. I said, I'm tired of the corporate life. I'm tired of the pressure. I'm tired of the highs are high and the lows are lows. I'm tired of that. I need a change. I've done well in my career. I've a good amount of money set for me. My investments work as hard as I do. But this is not about me in my life, but it's basically the process. And she said, go for it. She goes, if that's what you want to do, I've got your back, 100%. It took her a few days, I believe it was like 3 days for her to say that. Because I don't like putting people on the spot. I said, listen, take a couple of days, think about it. So she said to me, she's like, is this something you really want to do? I said, yeah, it's something I want to do. I want to drive a truck. I want to drive through all the states in America. I want to see the West Coast, the East Coast, the Northwest, Southwest, all that stuff. And she said, go for it. She says, if it's going to make you happy, I support you. Go do it. And the rest is history. I'm here. I'm here. Now, the only conflict I had amongst myself was, do I go lease or company? You know, the more people you speak to, the more answers you get. time during PSD. I did request a lease driver as my trainer. And naturally I got a lease driver. And after watching him, he was very transparent about his checks. I decided to go lease. I found there's more benefits for leasing a truck than there was negatives. I was worried. But even during the pandemic, and that's what really solidified it for me, was when we did not stop for a minute. We did not skip any loads. We didn't sit for 3 days waiting for a load. None of that. We were constantly moving. So I said to myself, Prime's got the freight. They've got the cargo. Reefer is the division. Because I was thinking about going tanker. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I was initially going to go tanker. And somebody had told me that you'll never get 50,000 miles in tanker. What they make tankers do is they make them go and do 30,000 in the reefer, in the reefer division, and then you do the 20,000 miles in tanker. Because you just don't get the miles in tanker as you do in reefer. And when that time came, I was like, I'm not going tanker. I really fell for the reefer. So that's how I got to Prime. And I never regretted it. I have not regretted it one day for making that decision. I personally am going to speak about my experience. My experience with Prime has been spot on. No one's twisted my arm. No one has told me what I wanted to hear. They told me what I needed to hear. It's a big difference. They gave me the tools to be successful. And I believe I'm using those tools properly. But Prime may not be a fit for you. Prime Lease Division may not be a fit for you. So the moral of the story is this. After you do your research, write down 10 to 20 questions. Remember, guys, there's no such thing as a dumb question. And if anybody you speak to, any recruiter you speak to, from company A through J, if all they want you to do is fill out an application, and we'll talk about it later, listen, take advice from an older guy, I should say. Run, don't walk. Because if they're doing that now, you can only imagine how they're going to treat you once you come on board. I don't plan on going local. I don't plan on leaving Prime. Now, is that a guarantee? No, nothing's guaranteed in life. If somebody came out of the woodwork and offered me something phenomenal, I would entertain it. But again, I'm not leaving Prime just to leave Prime. I would have to leave. The only reason I'd leave Prime is, again, the deal would have to be absolutely amazing. And that's not a reality. Because you know what, these other companies that lease and all that good stuff, yeah, it sounds great. I only pay $600, $700. But you know what, Prime, no credit checks. I can walk away from a lease tomorrow and there's no penalty for doing that. The only money I would owe Prime is the week of the truck payment that I had, that I was on, and any nicks, scratches, or dings that occurred while the truck was in my ownership. You know, these other companies entice you with the money, but you know, the old cliche is never judge a book by its cover. So, for me, I'm happy. I'm happy at Prime. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by. If you watched the video this long, thank you very much. I know you guys could be doing something other than watching BigH Trucking, but you're not. You're here with me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for helping me grow my channel. Thank you for giving me the confidence to talk to a phone. And all I say, and I always say it, stay safe and make great decisions. And the third one is ask questions, especially as a rookie or somebody looking to come into trucking. Ask questions. Till next time, have a phenomenal day. Again, thanks for stopping by.